Good morning, all. Let's start. So yesterday we talked about we have done some GUI applications based on certain controls. So we'll do some more practice today. So last time we talked about if and switch. We have done some GUI application, GUI forms related to that also. So today we'll continue. The next important thing is what is the difference between these two things, switch and if else statements. Now, if we compare both the things, switch is used to select sections or code depend upon the specific integer or characters. So this is one thing that it only compares integers as well as character values. It cannot compare float values or decimal values, right, or string values. And moreover, switch only checks the equality. Switch में जो भी हमने condition दी है, like if you see this example where switch choice is given, now we can only check whether the value of this choice variable is equal to 0, 1 or 2, right? It only checks the equality. It cannot check greater than, less than, like that, right? So this is one disadvantage, right? And moreover, it doesn't allow ranges in the sense, like if I want to compare two values, I want to check whether the value is greater than some number, as well as I want to check whether the number is less than something number. Like if I want to check whether the number is, well, whether the variable has a value greater than 0 as well as less than 100. So such two comparisons, things cannot be checked. You cannot check it in, you cannot check the range between these two variables, right? For example, 90 to 100 you want to check. So that is not possible in switch. Although we can do it in if conditions, there we can put multiple condition using and or, right? So it requires either integers or characters and doesn't allow useful types like string or decimal values. It cannot allow such kind of things. तो ये दो मेजर मतलब डिसएडवांटेजेस हैं इसकी स्विच स्टेटमेंट्स की. एक तो वो नंबर्स और कैरेक्टर्स को ही कंपेयर करता है, दूसरा वो सिर्फ इक्वालिटी रेंज चेक करता है, और it cannot check the range, right? These are the 3 points which switch cannot do. These are the limitations of switch. Now, one example is given. One more type of question which can be asked in exam is that you are given with switch statement and then you are asked to write the same statement in if, using if statements. Like this is the example where we have a variable choice in which user defined value in the text field is obtained. जो भी user इस text field में enter करेगा, it will be converted into integer form, and it will be saved in this variable choice, right? Then we comparing the value of choice. If the value of the choice is 0, then comment will have this value and the statement will break. And if the choice is 1, if choice is value 1, comment की value ये हो जाएगी और break हो जाएगा. और comment choice की value अगर 2 है तो comment की value आपकी ये होगी, right? So we are comparing the value of choice, right? Whatever user enters, we can put this that user can enter only 1, 0 or 2. So if it is 1, if it is 0, तो comment की value होगी you look so much better than usual. और अगर यूजर ने 1 डाला तो कमेंट की वैल्यू होगी योर वर्क इज अप टू इट्स यूजुअल स्टैंडर्ड्स. और कमेंट अगर यूजर ने चॉइस में 0, 2 डाला तो द वैल्यू ऑफ कमेंट विल बी यू आर क्वाइट कॉम्पिटेंट फॉर so little experience. You're right. And the default value is oops, something is wrong with the code. So if you want to write whole thing using if in place of switch, how will you write it? उसके लिए first line will be same. Choice is equal to integer dot pass in jtext field dot get text. So we'll get the value from user. that will be entered in this choice variable. Now we are not using switch, so we have to put condition for each and every condition that you want to give. So we'll write if choice is equal to 0. If the value of choice is equal to 0, then comment will have this line. Then else if choice is equal to 1, then comment will have the second line. Again else if choice equal to 2, the comment will have third line, and then only else the comment will have the default statement line, right? So this is how we can change switch into if as well as if into switch, right? So this change can also come in exams that you are given with the switch statement, then you are asked to write the same thing in using if statements, right? Or vice versa also. Sometimes you're given with the if statement and then you're asked to write the same whole program into using switch statement, right? So that's all from this chapter. This chapter ends here. All sort of things we have already covered up. So let's just see some of the exercises here. First of all, we have some multiple choice questions, which are 1 mark questions. What will be the final value of someone? This is output based question. Output based question means you have to check the whole program, the whole code written here, and then you have to find out the value of the given variable. So here we have to find the value of someone. The name of the variable is someone. When you execute this whole code, तो someone की value क्या होगी? So let's run it one by one. Let's see it one by one. And initially, someone is 3. And someone is equal to 3 means initial value of someone is 3. Then we'll add sum is equal to someone plus 1. So someone is equal to someone plus 1 means we are adding 1 to the number. So 3 में 1 end किया, someone की value हो गई 4. And remember, or for whenever we are going to use someone again, we'll use the updated value. 3 value जो है वो नहीं यूज होगी, आपकी updated value यूज होगी. someone की value अब 4 हो गई है, right? So to solve this, अगर ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं तो आप क्या करो, आप जो वेरिएबल है उनको लिखो, उसके नीचे फर्स्ट वैल्यू वाज 3. नाउ व्हेन वी कम टू सेकंड लाइन, someone value becomes 4, right? Then j text field 1 dot set text inverted comma someone. So someone की वैल्यू यहाँ पे प्रिंट करनी है हमने j text field 1 में. तो j text field 1 में someone की वैल्यू प्रिंट हो गई, 4 is printed, right? 3 जो है वो चेंज हो गया 4 में, तो 4 आंसर प्रिंट होगा टेक्स्ट फील्ड 1 में. Then next line is, will go sequence wise, right? Next is someone is equal to someone plus 1. Now the value was 4, 4 plus 1, it becomes 5, right? Then j text field 2 dot set text plus someone. Now again someone की जो भी value है that will be printed in j text field 2 second text field. Now the answer of this will be 5. text field 2 में 5 print हो जाएगा. Again next line is someone is equal to someone plus 1. Again we need to add one more, so someone value will be 6, and that 6 value will be printed in j text field 3. After that again someone plus 1, so we'll add one more, 7. Now the value of someone is 7, and j text field 4 dot set text someone will print 7. Again j text field 5 set text someone, again it will print 7 in these two text fields, right? So the final answer for someone of someone variable is 7. So in this case, what will be the answer? D part, 7. This is how we're going to solve such questions. Whenever some code is given, start calculating, start working, start executing from the very first line, and keep on doing it, and put the variables in this form somewhere in rough, and then you can note down all the changes one by one. Keep writing the things. This will help us to remember all the things. Otherwise, it's difficult for remember the value of a variable sometime. So इसको लिख के ऐसे साइड में लिखते रहोगे, you can make out के लास्ट में क्या वैल्यू रही है. 7 is the answer for this, right? So हर आउटपुट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन का यही तरीका होना चाहिए. Next question is, consider the following code snippet. The one part of code is given. What will be the output when a number is 14? So a number is 14 here initially. Then we'll come to if condition में हम लोग a number को compare कर रहे हैं. a number की value है 14. 14 greater than is equal to 10. Our condition is true because 14 10 से बड़ा है. So the condition, if condition is true, then we'll move on to the line which is written inside if. और अगर ये condition false होती तो हम else में जाते. तो हमारी condition true है, तो J label 1 में what will be the answer printed? First string will be printed, right? Now else part will be ignored, so this line will be ignored. Now important thing in this code is that हमने if और else जब किया था, हमने किया था कि if के बाद curly bracket लगानी होती है. Now there is no curly bracket here after if and there is no closing of curly bracket before else. यहाँ पे भी else में भी कोई भी curly bracket नहीं लगाया. तो अगर curly bracket नहीं लगाया है, then remember that whatever statement is written after if single statement, that single statement is counted inside if. राइट यहाँ पे तो एक ही है, एल्स के नीचे दो स्टेटमेंट्स लिखी हैं. अब ये दोनों एल्स में नहीं है, एल्स में सिर्फ ये वाला स्टेटमेंट है ऊपर वाला, बिकॉज देयर इज नो कर्ली ब्रैकेट रिटन. सो इफ कर्ली ब्रैकेट इज मिसिंग देन ओनली द फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट इज कंसिडर्ड इनसाइड एल्स. तो इसका मतलब कि अगर ये कंडीशन फॉल्स होती है तो हमने एल्स पार्ट में जाना है, तो ये वाली लाइन प्रिंट होनी है, राइट? और अगर ये कंडीशन ट्रू हो जाती है तो हमने इफ स्टेटमेंट में जाना है, तो दिस लाइन इज प्रिंटेड, else part is ignored. Now what is the else part? This much only, else and the first statement written after else. This second statement is not an if else, so it's outside if else. तो आपका if else का काम जो है यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक है. ये लास्ट वाली जो स्टेटमेंट है if else से बाहर है. So if it is outside if else, तो even if the condition is true or false, we have to print the last line because ये if else से बाहर है, right? तो ये प्रिंट होगी. तो इसका मतलब हमारी कंडीशन थी 14 की, 14 में हमारा कंडीशन ट्रू हो रही थी, 14 इज ग्रेटर देन 10. सो विल प्रिंट दिस लाइन and after this we'll print this line. So answer will be first string and the next we have third string, right? So answer is C over here, first string and third string, right? तो ये एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है, ध्यान रखने वाली चीज़ है कि कर्ली ब्रैकेट्स मिसिंग है तब हम कैसे करेंगे. कर्ली ब्रैकेट मिसिंग है एल्स में, तो ये जो फर्स्ट लाइन है सिर्फ यही आपकी कंसिडर की जाएगी विद इन दी ब्लॉक, एल्स ब्लॉक, राइट? I'll do one thing. I'll put brackets to make it equivalent. I'll put bracket here. अगर ब्रैकेट नहीं है तो आप अपनी तरफ से डाल सकते हो, बट रिमेंबर बिकॉज देयर इज नो ब्रैकेट, ओनली फर्स्ट लाइन इज द पार्ट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर ब्लॉक, नॉट द सेकेंड लाइन. तो इन दिस केस ये कंडीशन ट्रू हुई तो हमने ये प्रिंट कर दिया, फर्स्ट स्ट्रिंग प्रिंट हो गया. उसके बाद एल्स में नहीं जाना है, एल्स आपका यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक है, एल्स पार्ट इग्नोर हो जाएगा क्योंकि कंडीशन हमारी ट्रू थी. अब उसके बाद नेक्स्ट लाइन जो है ये लूप इस पर्टिकुलर ब्लॉक से बाहर है, इफ से बाहर है. सो एज वी नो दैट वी ऑलवेज फॉलोज अ सीक्वेंस, वी विल ऑलवेज गो इन ए सीक्वेंस. तो इफ एल्स वाले पार्ट के बाद ये लाइन जो सेकेंड लाइन है, j label 2 dot set text third string, this will also be printed. So your answer will be first string and then third string. This is the answer over here, right? So kindly remember this. This is very important over here. Fine. Moving further, what is the next question? What's wrong with the following statement? If you see the statement, यहाँ लिखा है if bracket open another bracket then CTR less than 5 double and another bracket CTR greater than 30 brackets close. This is the first bracket close, and then finally the open bracket, the first bracket that we did right after that is also closed. So any problem here? Let's see the options given. The logical operator and cannot be used in a test condition. क्या हम and test condition में नहीं लगा सकते हैं? This is wrong. We can use it. तो ये statement रही सही नहीं है. Right? Then test condition is always false. The test condition is always true. Now see this, CTRL less than 5. लेस देन 5 CTR वेरिएबल की वैल्यू, एंड का मतलब है दोनों कंडीशंस ट्रू होनी चाहिए, यानी कि आपकी जो वैल्यू है CTR की हमेशा 5 से छोटी हो और हमेशा 30 से बड़ी हो, राइट? सो दैट मीन्स द वैल्यू शुड बी लेसर देन 5 and it should be greater than 30. So we cannot use the numbers between 5 and 30. अब 5 से लेके 30 तक के नंबर CTR में नहीं होने चाहिए, right? So in this case, because and is used, so both the conditions should be true. Answer is C. Fine. So that's the problem area. The answer is C. Test condition is always true because in and both the conditions should be true. और होता तो दोनों में से एक ट्रू होना जरूरी है, दूसरा भले ही फॉल्स हो जाता, right? Next we have, if there is more than one statement in the block of a if statement, which of the following must be placed at the beginning and end of the loop block? अगर एक if block में एक से ज़्यादा statements है, then what all things you will write at the beginning and end of the loop? That is the curly brackets. We just have seen in the previous example, curly brackets were missing. So if we have more than one lines inside a block, then you have to place these curly brackets. Parentheses are not used, brackets, square brackets are not used, arrows are also not used. So curly braces are the right answer, French curly braces. Next we have, given the following information, A is given a value 11, B is given 22, C is 33 and D is 11. राइट? सो ए की 11 है, बी 22 है, सी 33 है और डी 11 है. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट्स आर ट्रू? लेट्स सी द फर्स्ट वन, ए इक्वल टू बी. ए 11 है, बी 22 है, दोनों इक्वल है? नहीं, तो ये स्टेटमेंट आपकी फॉल्स है. नेक्स्ट, बी इज नॉट इक्वल टू डी. बी इज 22 and D is 11. They are not equal. So this statement is true. So B is not equal to D is true. So एक ये ट्रू हो गया, सेकेंड वाला. C लेस देन इक्वल टू B. C कितना है? 33 और B है 22. तो C 22 से छोटा है. 33 लेस देन 22 इज रॉन्ग. 30 22 से छोटा नहीं है. So this statement is false. Then A less than C. A is 11 and C is 33. 11 less than 33 is again right. You may write like this so that 11 less than 33. So 11 is always less than 33. There's no problem in this. So this is also right. Then A equal to D. A is 11 and D is also 11. So both are equal. So this is also true. So हमारे पास एक ये स्टेटमेंट ट्रू हो गई, एक ये स्टेटमेंट ट्रू हो गई, एक ये स्टेटमेंट ट्रू हो गई. लास्ट वन इज C greater than A. C is 33, A is 11. So 33 greater than 11 is also true. 33 greater than 11 is right. Right. So ultimately, how many statements are true? Second, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Second, fourth, fifth, and sixth. The B option is the right answer here. Fine. Then we have certain journal questions that explain the following terms, then differentiate between text area, text field. Yes, Joban, any problem?
नो सर, वो गलती से हो गया था.
Okay, fine. Text field, text area. Any, what is the difference? The difference is the text field um, help us to give write the text in one line only. We cannot write multiple lines in the text fields, and whereas in text area the text can be written in multiple lines, more than one lines, right? Lines in the sense rows here. Then what is the difference between combo box and list box? Combo box में this is one example of combo box. ये combo box है, तो उसमें एक ही जो item है we can select, whereas if we have a list, तो list में multiple things can be selected, multiple items can be selected. What is the difference between getText and setText? GetText is a method which is used to read a value from any control, and setText method is used to print a value to any control. So this getText is to read and setText is to print, right? Previous question was explain the terms IDE. IDE is Integrated Development Environment. This provides an interface where we can create applications which a user can interact directly without any problem. So it's a user-friendly kind of environment provided where user can enter their data and values directly. Inspector window is the one where we have all sort of list of all the controls that we have added in the form, and from the inspector window you can just change the names of all those controls. What is the form? Form is one kind of container where we can add multiple controls like buttons, text field, text area, radio button, checkbox, etc. So it's one container. Container is the kind of control where we can place some other controls also. तो फॉर्म क्या है? फॉर्म एक कंटेनर कंट्रोल है जिसके अंदर हम और बहुत सारे कंट्रोल्स को रख सकते हैं, right? And forms are nothing but one kind of GUI interface with the help of which we can create uh, GUI forms, graphical user interface forms. What is the significance of the following properties in text area? What are the properties? What is the use of line wrap? Line wrap property, you can write that in text area by default when the text we write there is longer than the size of a text area. So by default, it comes in single line and a scroll bar is added at the bottom. But if we set line wrap property as true, then whatever we write in first line, if the text is not, the size of the text is larger than the size of the text area, तो फर्स्ट लाइन का जो कंटेंट है वो स्प्लिट होके नेक्स्ट लाइन में चला जाता है, वो रैपिंग कर देगा कि अगर आपकी टेक्स्ट जो है वो जो टेक्स्ट एरिया का साइज से बड़ा है, ज़्यादा है, तो वो व्हेन यू सेट लाइन रैप प्रॉपर्टी एज ट्रू, लाइन रैप प्रॉपर्टी ट्रू करने पे जो भी टेक्स्ट है वो फर्स्ट लाइन में नहीं आ रहा है तो वो स्प्लिट होके नेक्स्ट लाइन में चला जाता है, राइट? रैप स्टाइल वर्ड प्रॉपर्टी तब वर्क करती है लाइक one more thing in line wrap property, you can write that in line wrap property if the last word which comes in the first line, उस last word में if there is a space for only two letters, so in the last word two letters will come in the first line, the rest of the letters will move to the next line. So word is also splitted, right? So जो भी word है last में अगर दो characters की space है, word अब आपका 5 character का है, तो उस word के दो characters first line में आएंगे और तीन characters next line में चले जाएंगे, right? So this happens in line wrap property. But if you want to move the complete word to the next line, then we'll set wrap style word property as true, right? तो wrap style word property को अगर आप true करोगे तो फर्स्ट लाइन में अगर आपका टेक्स्ट नहीं आ रहा है तो लास्ट में अगर दो ही कैरेक्टर्स की स्पेस बची है और आपका जो वर्ड है वो 5 कैरेक्टर्स का है तो फुल वर्ड विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट लाइन, उसकी स्प्लिटिंग नहीं होगी। लाइन रैप में स्प्लिट हो जाता है बट रैप स्टाइल वर्ड में वर्ड स्प्लिट नहीं होता, फुल वर्ड विल मूव टू द नेक्स्ट लाइन, राइट? What are the list type controls used for? List type control is used to create one list of items, and moreover in list type controls it is we can do multiple selections of items. How do we select them? We can select them with the help of control button or shift button. So if you use control button, then we can select random values, like if you want to select first, third and fifth value, first, third and fifth item, then we have to press control button and then click on these first, third and fifth item. And if you want to select a sequence of values, six sequence of items like 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 like that in continuation, then we'll use shift key, shift दबाओ और 2 3 4 को select कर दो, right? So that is list type of control. Then how would you determine whether a combo box is editable or not? Very important question, that कैसे पता लगेगा कि combo box जो है वो रन टाइम पे editable है या नहीं है? Now you can answer this question in two ways. One is you can say that if the editable property of a combo box is set to true, then combo box can be editable at runtime. And if the editable property of a combo box is false, then at runtime we cannot change anything in the combo box. एक आंसर ये हो गया कि एडिटेबल प्रॉपर्टी को ट्रू कर दो तो कॉम्बो बॉक्स में चेंजेस नहीं तो हो सकती हैं। अगर आपने एडिटेबल प्रॉपर्टी को फॉल्स कर दिया तो कॉम्बो बॉक्स विल नॉट बी, द वैल्यू रिटन इनसाइड द कॉम्बो बॉक्स कैन नॉट बी चेंज्ड, राइट? Second is how will you check? Now here the question is how will you determine, how will you check? आप कैसे पता लगाओगे कि चेक बॉक्स के अंदर एडिटेबल प्रॉपर्टी में ट्रू है या फॉल्स है? उसके लिए वी हैव टू राइट a statement, whatever is the name of combo box, let's say the name is combo box 1. Method to check is selected, and how will you check? We have to write if statement for that. If check combo box 1 dot is selected equal to true. ठीक है, ये जो अभी आपने देखा ना TR ऊपर रह गया, UE नीचे चला गया, ये लाइन रैप प्रॉपर्टी में होता है। अगर आप रैप स्टाइल प्रॉपर्टी में करो तो फिर आपका ये पूरा का पूरा वर्ड जो है अगली लाइन में जाएगा, जैसे ये, राइट? सो लाइन रैप प्रॉपर्टी ट्रू करने पे वर्ड की स्प्लिटिंग होगी और रैप स्टाइल वर्ड में आपकी वर्ड पूरा का पूरा जाएगा अगर यहाँ पे सिर्फ दो ही स्पेसेस हैं, दो करेक्टर की स्पेसेस हैं। So anyhow, this question was how will you check whether the combo box is editable at runtime? So we'll write this statement: if combo box 1 dot is selected equal to true, then we can say that the combo box is editable, right? Next question we have, list different selection modes of a list. Selection modes अभी हमने बात करी, तीन तरह के selection modes होते हैं। एक है single selection, you can select only one item in a list. Second has single interval, in which we can select a sequence of items like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 like that. right? And how do we select them? We can use shift key from the keyboard to select all the items in which are given in a sequence. And third is your um, single multiple selection. In multiple selection, we can select multiple items by pressing control key, and that too random type of items. Random मतलब जैसे पहला, फिफ्थ, सेवंथ, टेंथ, आगे पीछे वाली वैल्यूज को सेलेक्ट करना है, तो दैट इज मल्टीपल सिलेक्शन. Single interval and multiple selection, these are the three different selection modes. सिंगल से एक आइटम सेलेक्ट होगी, सिंगल इंटरवल से एक साथ की दो तीन आइटम्स सेलेक्ट होंगी, और मल्टीपल इंटरवल से वी कैन सेलेक्ट random items at different index numbers, right? Next is what is a button group? एक button group क्या है? Which control is generally used with a button group? Button group क्या है? Button group is a control, it's a uh, control which we can add up in a frame, and this button group help us to connect one or two radio buttons so that only single selection can occur inside a radio button. And which control is used with this button group? Radio buttons are used, although check boxes can also be used, but it's meant for radio buttons basically, but there's an option in the check boxes also. So you will write radio buttons and check boxes here, right? So button group property help us to go for single selection in radio buttons and check boxes. And which control is used with this button group? We use radio buttons and check boxes here with this. Next we have write and explain two methods each of checkbox and radio buttons. So any two methods you have to use. So one is selected, which is used to check whether the radio buttons or checkbox is selected or not. Second is set selected, which will do the selections. If you want to forcefully select someone, some kind of checkbox or radio button, then we can use this set selected method for doing that, right? Some other also they are like uh, is visible, right? Then is enabled method help us to check whether the enable property is true or false. Means if it is true, then your control will work, and if it is false, then your control, that checkbox or radio button, will not work at run time. ऐसे visible true है, तो आप आपका जो चेक बॉक्स या रेडियो बटन है वो आपको फॉर्म के अंदर दिख जाएगा. अगर आपने विजिबल प्रॉपर्टी को फॉल्स किया हुआ है तो वो इनविजिबल हो जाएगा, right? So if you want to check what is the value of these properties, visible and enable, for that we have is enabled and is visible method, right? So you can write any two. उन्होंने दो बोला है, दो बोल के explain करने हैं साथ में, right? Then we have certain lab experiments based on this thing. Labs experiment are the practical questions. Design a graphical user interface application, GUI application, in which user enter 3 digits in the text field, a 3-digit number in the text field, and on clicking a button, the sum of the digits of the number must be displayed in a label. So again a very important and good questions. See, यहाँ पे हमने करना क्या है, एक टेक्स्ट फील्ड लगाना है, यूजर उसमें कोई भी 3 डिजिट का नंबर डालेगा, और हमने जब बटन को क्लिक करना है तो वो जो 3 डिजिट दिए हैं उन 3 डिजिट्स के जो नंबर्स हैं उनको प्लस करना है. जैसे 1 2 3 एंटर किया तो 1 + 2 + 3 आंसर विल कम 6, right? If 444 is printed, so 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12 should come as answer. तो इसको हम कैसे कर सकते हैं, right? How will you bifurcate 1 2 3, right? I'll give you one idea. You people can do it at home in this. You can practice this at home. Now, if I divide 1 2 3 by 10, what will be the answer? It is 12.3. But if it is a number, the points are ignored, right? And if we find out the remainder by dividing 10, 1 2 3 divided by 10, what is the remainder? Last digit 3. Fine. Then you keep on doing this. आपके पास 10 से डिवाइड करके आ गया 12, 3 हट जाएगा, और फिर हम 12 को डिवाइड करेंगे 10 के साथ, तो आंसर आएगा 1.2, बट वो नंबर है तो डेसिमल पार्ट इग्नोर हो जाता है, और 10 मॉडुलस 2 करेंगे तो 12 मॉडुलस 10 करेंगे तो आंसर विल बी 2, because 10 ones are 10 and the remainder is 2, right? Similarly, we are left with 1 divided by 10 will be 0 point something, right? 0.1, but answer will be 0. And we write 1 percentage, 1 percentage means 1 modulus 10, answer will be 1. So what we are going to do is we'll find the modulus, right? We'll put this equal to a variable, let's say x, right? And we'll put this to a variable y, and we'll put this to a variable z. And when you add x, y, z, we'll get 1 plus 2 plus 3. What will be the answer? 1 plus 2 plus 3, and the answer will be 6. So this is the logic that we need to build in this particular program, right? So think over and then just write the coding for this, and then we'll talk about in the next class, right? Okay, that's it from my side. I'll end up, and just practice this at home.